is everybody doing out there in the world of content streaming? Well, we're glad you're back with us. This is Jimmy G in the place to be with another unboxing with my thoughts around some cool toys. And so if this is your first time here, I would just encourage you to like and subscribe, and hopefully it won't be your last. And if this is your multiple times here, thank you for keeping on showing up. And as you know, we're currently sitting at 175 subscribers on our way to that 200. And then once we hit 200, we got 300 milestone, 500, 1,000. We got all sorts of giveaways that we're doing. I'll put a link in my description of the giveaways that we're doing, but you can get some really cool stuff. And all you have to do is like and subscribe. And subscribe to these videos, and then we'll give competitions. It could be anything from your favorite food or pizza topping to your favorite YouTube content creator that's not me. But thank you all again. But this time we got something really great for you from the McFarlane verse. As y'all know, in previous videos we reviewed one of his figures with Demon Slayer. We reviewed those little 4-inch, 5-inch figures that he had, and overall I said they were pretty good, pretty awesome. They just didn't have the articulation. Then after that we reviewed the Bandai Demon Slayer Ultimate HD figures, and those things had the articulation. However, the face sculpts were just a little bit off for me. But now we have, our collection is complete of these figures that are sub $50 figures, actually sub $25. Now there's a lot of $100 figures out there that have some amazing articulation and things like that, but we're not going into that. I want to show you some stuff that you can just go to your local Target, Walmart, Amazon, pick these things up and really enjoy your time. So let's go to my laboratory and see what we are talking about today. Let's do it. And here we have what we are going to be looking at. We have the McFarlane Toys 7-inch Demon Slayer figures. Now, McFarlane Toys has only released 3 of these, and so we got Zenitsu, Nezuko, and Tanjiro. So we will be taking a closer look at these, comparing them to the previous McFarlane figures and the Bandai figures, and to tell you which one you should get. So let's first take a look at some of the packaging. So we'll take a look at Zenitsu first, because his packaging is probably in the best shape. So there is the front, nothing exciting on the side, and on the back some really great artwork of that scared look of Zenitsu, always wondering where is his bride to be and doesn't want to fight a thing. And so we'll put you right back where you need to go. Now, Nezuko and Tanjiro's boxes are a little bit beat up, but you know what? These are coming out of the box, so why do I need the box anyway? If you wanted to keep these case fresh, I would recommend you get them from some dealer where you can inspect them. Tanjiro and Nezuko I got off of Mercari for a really good deal, and I'll tell you about that in just a moment. But this is her box. Again, the sides are the same as the previous one, but look at that cute artwork there of Nezuko, all innocent and sweet looking, but do not make her angry, and first of all, and do not mess with her family. And then last but not least, our star of the show, Tanjiro. We got his box right here, and it's, like I said, it's a little beat up, but on the back there he is with the hope in his eyes that he will find a cure for Nezuko-san on that. So right now Demon Slayer is in its 3rd season, or I think 3rd or 4th, I don't remember. It's the Swordsmith Village arc. For those of y'all that read the manga, for those of y'all that are watching the anime, it is available on Crunchyroll, the latest season, coming out an episode at a time, which is heart-wrenching. However, if you want to watch subtitled versions of the previous seasons, you can catch those on, now you can catch it on Netflix. You can catch both the original, the Origins, the Mugen Train, and the Entertainment District, all on Netflix, which I would recommend definitely watching them. For those that you don't know anything about Demon Slayer, just look up, there's some YouTube videos on it. Demon Slayer is what I would consider if you took Buffy the Vampire Slayer and put him in like old school Taisho era Japan, that's what you've got. Demons are like vampires, and the Slayers are the people that kill them. The demons cannot be out in the sunlight or they will die, and only certain blades and swords and only certain weapons can kill demons, and they all have special powers and things like that, but I digress. I won't get into that much. But yeah, you could pick up these figures at most retailers for $24.99, but if you want to get a really great deal, what I did was I looked on Mercari and I found a seller that had these two and sold both of these to me for $45 plus shipping. So I ended up, actually no, $40 plus shipping, sorry. So I ended up paying a little less than about $21, $22 for these guys. And no, wait, actually shipping was free. So $20 a piece for those guys. So, which was a really good deal, but the boxes were beat up. But if you want to save money on these, just keep an eye on Amazon to see if there's any sales, as well as your Target Red Card does give you 5% off. So we are going to go ahead and get these fellas and ladies out of the box and kind of get them posed and give you some thoughts about them. Of course, the first one we're going to start with is the hero of the show himself, is Tanjiro. Let's get, speaking of vampires and vampire slayers, we got our trusty old Wesley Snipes, who's going to be helping us out on this. So let's get this going. All right, we got all three figures out of the packaging. I've got Zenitsu up close and personal with us here, and so let's take a little closer look at this beautiful boy. So let's take a look at that face sculpt. Really nice. I love the anime, but it's on a ball joint, so you really got some really great movement. The hair has some really nice attention to detail there. So let me see if I can bring in a little bit more illumination. But yeah, the nice attention to detail. The arm, you have all sorts of, it's on a ball joint as well, so you got all sorts of movement. You have movement here, the ratcheted, that's really awesome. Wrist on a ball joint, you have all sorts of movement you can do with that wrist too. The upper chest, you do have the ab crunch, but you also have twisting capabilities here. And leg can come up about right there. Leg can go back a little bit too, and then you also have knee articulation, and then your foot is on a ball joint and can swivel left, right, and you can also there's some toe movement too as well, so you can really get these guys in poses, and that's the same with Tanjiro too as well. So I won't go through all the articulation with Tanjiro. I just want to show you some of the details in his uniforms and stuff like that. But look at that, that's just gorgeous colors, that orange and yellow, really cool. And then what you get with Zenitsu is you also get his Nichiren blade. I don't know if you can get a good look at that, but you can see kind of like the thunder, like the lightning all over the design right there, and then just the detail in that blade as well. You do get two closed-fisted hands that you can change out if you want to. And you also, with like all McFarlane figures, you get this Demon Slayer stand. All your 7-inch figures, you get that. So let's move you out of the way, Mr. Zenitsu. And let's bring in Tanjiro. So there is Tanjiro. Again, articulation wise, got the same. I love it. Has his earrings. I don't know how to pronounce those earrings. Hanafuno, Hikamakamuko, whatever. But you got his Demon Slayer scar here too as well, that he has, that he was kind of born with, and it gets more prominent as the show goes on. But just the face animation, I mean, just look at that. That is really, really good. So they did a really good job on the sculpt of that face, on all the faces, so that really accurate to the show. The uniform, he has his Demon Slayer outfit on here, but he also has his jacket too as well, that green that we're so used to. But from a posing standpoint, both him and Zenitsu both pose exactly the same. You got all the same movements and joints and all that good stuff. But with Tanjiro, you got some extra accessories. You do have, again, his Nichirin sword, which is all black with a nice hilt. So I can't wait to see what happens in Swordsmith Village. Then you got something really cool because Tanjiro is water breathing. So you got this right here. However, later in the series, you'll find out that he kind of evolves. You also get 2 hands and the stand as well for Tanjiro. Now Nezuko, thank you, Tanjiro, is a little bit different in her articulation, but let's take a closer look at her. Look at that face again. Just the look in her eyes, the veins popping out right there. I don't know if you can see that, but the veins that are popping out on her forehead, the detail, of course, look at that, the detail in the bamboo mouth restraint, and then of course her little hair bow accessory. But let's take a look at her outfit. Her outfit, I really dig her outfit. It's got some really nice detail to it, some really great, just some care that the McFarlane team did with this. The back, her hair, just really again, great with that. Now her articulation, she doesn't have much movement in the head. It can't spin it all around. I mean, you can, but the hair kind of gets in the way. She does have the ratcheted joints, the fists here. Now, the legs, these are a little loose for me right now, so she's going to be a little difficult to pose, but she does have double jointed knees here, as well as the ankle and foot movement too as well. But look, her little sandals there. So what you get with Nezuko too as well is her blood demon art with her, the cool little things that she does. It's hands pretty much that have that. And then you also get, she has her closed-fisted hands, but you also get these hands that if you can take a closer look at them, I don't know if you can get a good look at those, but they're pointed, so like her fingernails, I think. So this pose is a little different than that. Both of those hands are in 2 different poses, so that's just really cool. And then last but not least, you get the stand. So let's stand them up, let's get them posed, let's get them with their swords and their stuff on, and let's compare them to some of the other figures that we got as well. So give me just a moment and we will get them compared. And here are all 3 of them standing. We got Zenitsu and Tanjiro with their swords. I didn't really pose them that great. I just wanted to get them standing because we're just going to do some comparisons with some of the other figures. So let's move well, let's start with Nezuko because she's the one that has the least amount of figures. She just has 1 that we can compare it to, and that is the 5-inch or 4-inch Nezuko. Right there. So I don't know if you all get a good look at them. Let me move that camera down a little bit. But from a posability standpoint, again, there's not much articulation. But what I really do like is in this face sculpt. I mean, this is her with her like kind of innocent eyes. There, sorry for the hand shaking. And then this is her with her demon kind of look there. So a lot more attention to detail in the 7-inch than there is on this, but the face sculpts, again, are my favorite things about the McFarlane figures. I think they're more animation accurate. So Nezuko, thank you. Let's get you over here. And then let's go on to Tanjiro and take a good look at him. And let's move that camera up just a hair. And we're going to bring in his 5-inch McFarlane Tanjiro. Now the big difference here, doesn't have his jacket on, just as in his Demon Slayer core outfit. What I like is in the 5-inch, they're getting ready to release the Hashira Gyo Tomioka, which is going to be really, really cool as well. Again, articulation wise, you could just move the arms up and down here, whereas you do have the more articulation in the ball joint on that one. The other figure we have of Tanjiro is, of course, the Bandai figure. Now, here is where comparisons can start coming into play. There's the Bandai figure. Now, I got this Bandai figure in a nice little pose here, but a lot smaller of a figure. And so this is where I believe the McFarlane one kind of shines, because it has a bit more detail, it has a better feel to it. However, the Bandai one, I think, still wins on posability because of one thing, is these joints right here, they turn. So that way you can get them in some dynamic poses there. Although you have a lot of really posability with this one, this one still has, from a posing standpoint, I think this one edges out the McFarlane figure. However, from a looks standpoint, I mean, look for yourself. I don't know if, again, both in focus there. Must have been a beautiful baby. But look at them. That's the McFarlane one, I think, wins hands down from the aspect of looks. I mean, the color is more accurate, the overall uniform looks much better, and then the face, that matte, because he's got glossy, it's like he's got, you know, he needs to get some Noxzema or something to kind of knock that shine off his face. But yeah, that's what I think about Tanjiro. And now let's move the Tanjiros aside, and let's get with good old Zenitsu. Are my legs broken? So I can't scream like him. I've got family members that would freak out if I scream like Zenitsu. So we're not going to do that. So first, let's compare him to his 5-inch counterpart. Let's move them better into frame. And one thing I like about his 5-inch counterpart, and I'll put a link to it too as well, is he comes with a scene with his thunder breathing. And if you notice the face sculpt here, he's got his eyes closed. He's in his Moon Knight phase. Like I said, Zenitsu, when he's awake, he's Chicken Little, but when he is unconscious or asleep, he is Moon Knight. So he is an extremely powerful Demon Slayer. But again, the details, the articulation, again, this, I mean, again, it's the difference between $9.99 and $24.99. So you get what you pay for. But if we take a look at the Bandai one, again, hands down, no, not hands down, I mean, it's very close. This one wins on articulation. However, from aesthetics, like if this is sitting on my shelf and I want something more animation accurate, the McFarlane one's gonna win. Again, the shiny face just doesn't do it for me. The more puppy dog eyes in this one, you can see them together, the left and the right. So which one do you like better? Some of y'all may like the right one better. That's great. That's you. It's up to you. That's awesome. The other thing I like about the Bandai one is we do have their sword sheaths. But this sword looks so much better. It has the thunder, the lightning all going up and down it. But yeah, overall, I think McFarlane wins on aesthetics, but Bandai, you will win on posability. Now, here's my complaint about Zenitsu. So $24.99, I think I should get some Thunder, you know, with them, or Lightning. We should be able to get some Lightning to go with, because like Tanjiro, with Nezuko, you get the Blood Demon art, and with Tanjiro, you get his water breathing, you know, I forget which form this is. I think it might be first form. But with Zenitsu, all you get is his sword and some hands. So Todd, if you release a version 2 of this, let's throw some Thunder in there, or maybe just the statue. So if you see, I don't know if you can see in the background, we do have the statue as well, which is even more detailed, but the articulation, there is none. It's just basically there to pose and be there to look amazing. So let's get back together for some final thoughts. Let's get some video footage of these guys posing and doing some really cool stuff. So get ready to see the turntable of wonders with this. Now, the other figures I did not bring down, but they are happily still watching, is of course Inosuke. He's up there jumping, and then of course Muzan, because I just don't have any now of them. Now, of course, the cute ones, they're going to be right over here. So cute, so awesome. No posing, but they just look cute. So that's what we've got there on that. So let's get back together for some of my final thoughts, and then we'll get some poses together with them, and I'll tell you which ones that I think are worth it, that you should buy, and which ones maybe you can just leave on the shelf, or just kind of just give you my thoughts on all the price points too as well. So let's do that. And now for some final thoughts on all 3 versions of these figures. And so let's just bring the 7-inchers back in for one last little showcase. And so there we go. We got Tanjiro with his blade of wonders. Very cool. And let's put Tanjiro down, and let's bring in Zenitsu with his thunder breathing as best that I could do. Very cool. And last but not least, Nezuko-san with her blood demon art. So you can get a good look at her face. She's angry. Don't mess with her family. And then just her overall look. That's just amazing. So I'm going to put some more footage of them up above, but from a comparison standpoint, so again, so some pros that I love about these. First of all, 7-inch figures, they're amazing. They come with the stands, they come with extra hands, and then some extra accessories. As far as animation accurate, my opinion is the 7-inch Todd McFarlane Demon Slayer figures are win hands down. The little 4-inch figures that McFarlane puts out, those are good just to have. I mean, if that's all you can get, that's what you can get. And then the Bandai figures are great too as well. So from a posability standpoint, that's where Bandai wins. Just it has more parts that can move around versus the McFarlane figures, and so there's a lot more action poses you could put those in. And plus they got a Inosuke, no Nezuko, but we have a Inosuke. And then overall value, now I love the fact that Tanjiro comes with his water breathing and Nezuko comes with her blood demon art, but Zenitsu, he only has his sword and his couple fists. I mean, they all have extra hands, but let's give Zenitsu a little love. Let's give him, at least a couple lightning bolts or something. But the other just minor nitpicky thing about these is you only have one face. So the ability to change out the faces would be awesome, but I get that, you have to keep it at a certain price point. Like the ones that I see that you can change the faces out run anywhere from $70 to $150. So these, again, mass market, produced for the masses at an affordable price. So $24.99 a piece, $16.99 for the Bandai, $9.99 for the 4-inch. which has the better value? I would pay $24.99 for the McFarlane figures. It's tough to choose because, I mean, the McFarlane figures look the best, and then the Bandai figures pose the best. So depending on how you want to display it, if you want the most animation accurate, go with McFarlane. But if you want the better posing, go with Bandai. I think they're all great for their value. I mean, from a value standpoint, $16.99 for what you get with the Bandai, with a couple of swords, with the hands, and with the posability. You can't beat that. That's a really great deal. If you can put up with just some subpar facial work and details. The McFarlane 4-inch figures that are $9.99, those are great for people that are like, I just don't have a lot of money, but I love Demon Slayer and I want some figures. Those are phenomenal figures, don't get me wrong. $9.99 for Tanjiro, for Nezuko, and for Muzan, and then $14.99 I believe for Zenitsu with his little thunder breathing that he has on that. So from a good, bad, awesome, these are pretty awesome. Now Nezuko, without these hands on her, very hard to stand up, but I think once you have these hands on her with the Blood Demon art, it counterbalances her and she's much more stable. So if you're gonna keep her without these hands on, I would say good luck keeping her standing, but with the Blood Demon art, no problem. I had no problem keeping her standing, keeping her upright in the poses that I want to put her in. So that's her. So overall, very awesome with these figures. I would highly recommend the McFarlane figures. It's funny. I highly recommend them all because just depending on the price point that you're at and what you're looking for is what it's going to fit. Should you get all three? No, you shouldn't get all three. Unless you're just a completionist like I am, you should get all three. Now, if you just want something really big and that just has a cool pose, I mean, the statue is really great. And then there's other companies that make some really good statues as well. Now, if you're looking high-end, Figura, I think Figura makes some really high-end, some higher-end figures that have different face plates, different hands, all sorts of different stuff. So definitely those would be ones that you would think about. But overall, I mean, these are amazing. I mean, they just remind me of just that Sunday I have a new episode to watch. So when this posts, maybe the Swordsmith's Villages will be over, but hopefully not. Hopefully you like these. Hopefully you get them. Hopefully they bring you joy for many, many, many moons. Yeah, that's my thoughts. I like them. Great. I wish I hope they make more. I hope they make the Hashira. I hope they make the upper and lower moons. They make a Muzan. That would be awesome if they made that, because then you have some really good some really good completionist figures. I hope that they do. McFarlane has this thing where they have pieces and parts. There is the hand demon from the very first arc that Tanjiro has to fight in order to become a demon slayer, and he's a pretty massive figure, so that would be kind of cool to kind of have, like, collect these pieces, or even now in Swordsmith Village, just kind of with the I forgot which one it is, but I won't spoil it for you, but he gets kind of big. Or even with Rui, Rui's dad would be an interesting one to have too as well. But yeah, I think I've gabbed on long enough for y'all. So I'm gonna let y'all go, whether it's nighttime or daytime. I'm sure you got a lot to do. If you're sitting on the toilet watching this, I'm sorry your legs have gone numb because you were just so enthralled waiting to hear all my thoughts about this. But go ahead and get up, get that blood circulation going, and yeah, we'll see you again. So just remember, stay young, have fun, and be awesome. Dad breathing, fifth form, buying too much toys. See you later.